Hi everyone, I'm AyeforScotland, and today we are completing the Roottrees are dead. Will we get everything right? No, but we got here. No, this game's been fantastic. You'll notice that I'll probably be in different clothes in a couple of seconds, and that's because the last kind of recording I did of the game was like 3 hours long and I had to split it up, and I didn't do my usual introductions and wrap-ups. But anyway, I hope you enjoy it. Okay, Christine Farrow was hired. Beth Knox 50-year work anniversary. Zach Morden retirement party. I wish there was like a company intranet that I could look up, because I feel like I am struggling to get photos. Like, Christine Farrow, is that her? Like, looking at the evidence board. Let's go photos. Chris Rafferty in the office. This photo was on Chris Rafferty's website. According to Chris, it's a photo of him, his father, and Guy Hudson. I wonder if she's a red herring as well. I mean, she looks like potentially a secretary, but like, I don't know. Right, so again, all these is the photos. Like, left side is completely done. Optional photos, we need to find fucking... There must be a photo of Edson Suarez and Sonia Suarez together somewhere. Edson Suarez. Brazilian politician. Mayor of Alvagados. Nope, nothing. Pelerede. I'm thinking, so... Roottrees, Brazil... Is there something to be said about the Roottrees everywhere? Oh, let's search that maybe. There's an expansion, there's the following. Roottrees candy being distributed globally. Canada, Mexico, select countries in Europe, mostly UK. Australia, Brazil, China, France. This is what came out of it. We've done... I think Australia is in the running. But that could be a red herring. Roottrees France we know is done. We've done Roottrees China. Roottrees Brazil we know there was an affair in. But we just can't find the fucking thing. So look up this. Brazil was the 5 caviar flavoured 5 pieces. Is there something there? Nope, there's not. Comes in its standalone 5 pieces bag with Portuguese ripe near São Bernardo de Campo. A game designer by the name of Jeremy Johnston looked up cities in Brazil that had a lot of manufacturing so that he could place a fictional factory there. Did not want to offend any Brazilians with the tale he was writing that involved corruption and politics, so the small town name he made up, Alvalagos, where the factory was located, was invented by mixing... Wait, what? Oh, right, okay. Is there anything... Wait, hold on. Is there anything to that? So a small town named Alvalagos near the municipality became the location. Newly elected local politician. But São Bernardo de Campo is a real place. A game designer by the name of Jeremy Johnston looked up cities in Brazil that had a lot of manufacturing. He did not want to offend any Brazilians with the tale he was writing. So the small town... name he made up. But wait, is a real play? What? Fuck? They're talking about here as if it's a real place. Okay. So if we go Interlagos, Alvarenga. I am very confused. Alright, fuck, this is fucking, Jesus, fourth wall, god. Game is clearly heavily inspired by Obra Dinn and her story. I hope it stands on its own and it feels like more of an homage than a rip-off. Thank you to Lucas Pope and Sam Barlow, you both ran so that I can walk. It's also inspired by my participation in the world's largest trivia contest on 19FM in Stevens Point, Wisconsin. Thanks to everyone who organises that competition year after year. Shout out to Portesi Frozen Pizza, which I've never tried but I've heard so much about. Lastly, it's inspired by a core memory I have of browsing Beanie Babies Mortal Kombat fan site somewhere around 1995, my local library's dial-up connection. Thanks to the patient librarians in Bethel CT who took the time to explain the internet and helped change my entire life. If you're seeing this message, please come to the game's Discord. Simply type I found the thing, all in capital letters, in the I found the thing channel. Discord can be found in the game's main menu. Nice. That's okay, that's clever. Okay, got you. Got you. Right, okay. That was good. Nice to find that wee kind of tidbit. Yes, in New Brazil Candy Corporations, yeah, because it's the actually other place, Nova Cooperação de Doce. I do not know Portuguese, I'm sorry. We're not having a good fucking time with this. Incendio de Bordo. Translates to maple fire. Nope. Incendio de Bordo. Is there, like, periodicals about this? I can't imagine there would be. It's not going to be in Teen Blast, is it? No. Mayor of the city was found to be receiving a cut. Like, we get all that. We totally get all that. Like, Edson Suarez, clearly a bit of a dickhead. I can't believe Mayor of Alvalagos doesn't fucking exist. Didn't make him popular. Telerede, we've got like nothing on. Brazilian, but did we need to look up that? Nope. So then, like, looking up Sonia Suarez, which is now Flavio Suarez, which is now, again, I'm just going down the path. Ashley York. Ashley York was in periodicals, which was in Piketty, I think. It was in Team Blast. What if we look up Rio Carnival? I get the feeling that, like, there's gonna be, it's like a search periodicals, Business Watch, Teen Blast, Piketty, fucking Jesus. Is Flavio Suarez in Teen Blast? Okay, so he's not in that. Is he in Piketty? Nope. You would think that he would be in Teen Blast. He's not going to be in Business Watch. Okay, so Trans Miss Sao Paulo. Is Miss Sao Paulo a potential thing? Was she like a... No. I realised that would actually require an additional S. Like, maybe she was Miss Sao Paulo? No. Nia received a significant inheritance, basically all of the money. She keeps out the limelight, worked in television until 1988. Sonia Alves has too many names, or like too many folks, so she's Nia Alves. So she's, sorry, hold on, she's not Sonia Suarez, she's Sonia Alves. She's a media mogul, and she has no trace of her anywhere. Nia Alves. I kind of want to like, is there a Sonia Alves from like ages ago maybe? Like Business Watch, Sonia Alves. Not there, she's not there, she's not in. I was like thinking maybe she'd be in some of the defunct stuff, but I don't think so. Piketty, nothing. Starlet, nothing. Teen Blast, nothing. If I then change it to Nia Alves in Teen Blast, there's nothing. She would then be Business Watch, where there's a little bit of stuff there. Lack of freedom of speech. Nia's extremely private. Her marriage in 1973 was not of her own choice. Like, I get that, but what are we drawing from this? Like, what's the... Like... Claims that past appearances with her husband have been for show. They do not live together. Okay, that's fine. Where are those? Like, 1973 was the marriage. Many manufacturing businesses in her hometown. She now owns networks, magazines, like searching for Nia online. She stays out the spotlight, does not list relationship history. I do not know how to find like the route to her. Doesn't help that the guy fucking fled as well. How the fuck do I find her photo, man? It's so annoying. And also, it's weird that we've not found any other pictures of Guy. Like, what am I missing here? So, nothing in that photo. There's no... Okay, there's no photo evidence that we've got that are, like, valued. There's apparently 7 in this fucking nightmare thing. Which I don't even believe. Okay, there's apparently one thing here. Christine Farrow was hired. Christine Farrow is no longer listed. Christine Garland's been hired. It's weird that like you would rehire someone with a name change. Surely that would just be like a HR update. Beth Knox, 50-year work anniversary. Nothing. Gwyneth Madsen. Christine Farrow. I mean, like, yeah, that's obvious there. I wish there was a way to look up the like retirement party and stuff. 2 things here. Guy Hudson replaces Zachariah Morden. Edward Roottrees, Elizabeth Cravensworth, Lloyd Carpenter no longer employed. Rafa Tunes is now listed as office staff. Christine Garland is no longer working for Roottrees. Lisa Lewis and Valerie Ewing, Thomas Green, Michael Crane, Elizabeth Farrow, Jack Keating's no longer employed. Susan Ford, this was the interpreter. Then there was like a billion fucking things. Can I like look up that? There's no photo. There's like, how am I finding these? Like the 4th of July spectacular. Why is there nothing there? Well, there'll be nothing on the New Year's ball because that's just such a broad. Is it like Roottrees New Year's ball? Nothing. We now go into this one. Terry O'Connor. Susan Ford's been moved to office staff. Susan Ford no longer works as a special services interpreter. So she travelled with him to like all the places. There's a Grandorf Dove donation, which we've looked up before, which has its whole thing, which is Susan Ford runs it, and she has the Hudson wing. I wonder. Did the... I have an inkling that Susan Ford might be the other person. It's either the Australian woman who found out something, but she doesn't have any kids. So there's no... I mean, obviously she could be one of these. There was a split up, there was an infidelity. Ugh. Let's... Used to be in Butler County, so let's have a look. Periodicals, Butler County, Grandorf Dove. School for the Deaf near Butler. Grandorf Dove was once the centre of a crime article in 1982. Seems someone defaced the school and vehicles outside the brand new Hudson wing. Multiple broken windows, one of the teachers' cars was painted with profanities and accusations of infidelity. A week later, a follow-up article provides more details. There was one arrest, Thomas Hughes, who was coincidentally a former student at the school. Apparently the destruction came weeks after he married the school's newest teacher, Mrs. Hughes. She was not a teacher when he went, he graduated a few years earlier. According to the report's investigation into police reports, trials and restraining orders, Mr. Hughes was convinced that he was not the father of Mrs. Hughes' current pregnancy. He was released on bail and the school has agreed not to press criminal charges after an agreement was made. Thomas Hughes, Mrs. Hughes and the Hudson wing have all avoided further appearances. So, is there a chance here that Thomas Hughes... Wait a second. So let's go Hudson wing. Bearing in mind that's Guy Hudson. Mentioned she learned ASL from the main school before the Hudson wing even existed to surprise her future husband who was deaf. Oh, this is a... Oh, it's totally... Right, so it's Thomas Hughes. It is Susan Ford. She was... she was a something. What's she now? Is it... Susan Ford? Is it Susan Hughes? She did divorce. Ms. Ford. Thomas Hughes, Mrs. Hughes, suspiciously left out there. I think it was Susan Hughes. She got divorced. She's Susan Ford. She was Susan Ford that worked with Guy Hudson. That's why the Hudson wing became a thing. She was the one that secured the funding for it, somehow. It's gotta be. Which is useful. I don't know what that makes her. Director, maybe, of the school? Find that the principal. She's the principal? Principal, there we go. So I just need to find fucking photos and figure out who our kids are. Because she was an interpreter as well, so she's linguistically gifted. There is nothing about fucking Susan Ford. I'm like, what about Guy Hudson? There's an old article about Guy Hudson. Fucking Jesus. The moment Guy Hudson leaves, Susan Ford's no longer there. I get the feeling I'm missing like why isn't there like tons of photos of like Guy Hudson on tour in like Brazil? Like, where's the business meeting, shaking hands photos that you would have like seen? Like, why? Like, it's a bit odd that maybe. See if it turns out it's like a fucking periodical I've just not looked at. Guy Hudson hasn't been updated. It's now maybe irrelevant. That's useless to me. He's not in Teen Blast. There was a thing with fucking Cicely Sanchez. That is red herring stuff. I've been down this route and it's been a bastard the entire time. News time. Yeah, that's just the 5-piece stuff. Right, show everything. We're going from the top. Company records. There is stuff there. I think. Right. Most of the relevant rumours coincide with the reign of Guy Hudson. According to 6 pieces, an open secret that Guy was very much not a fan of remaining faithful to his wife Patricia. Many of the hires were young, single women. Guy spent a lot on private parties. It's 20 years ago. Sam warns that most of it's hearsay. One of Sam's farm supervisors was named Elizabeth. Elizabeth had a daughter who Sam never met, worked as one of Guy's secretaries. According to Elizabeth, a caterer from a local restaurant called Antonelli's met her daughter at one of Guy's parties. They eloped quickly due to a pregnancy. Yeah, I'm curious about that. Guy's main positive contribution to the company involved expanding to markets. Spent for weeks at a time. Bribed at least one politician in Brazil. Sam speculates Elias may have cheated with Gwyneth. Like, that's all. We've done that section. Don't know how that helps us here. Like, give me, like, what the actual fucking parties were. Roottrees. Yep. Lawrence 2 Diaries. Okay, Stephanie Jones, Younger Roottrees, November, Ronald, like all that's fine. Red herrings. Family Man, well, a book about live streams tended to be propaganda, not useful. Well, it did in this section. Caroline Morden's sculptures weren't useful, Lauren's other books weren't either. There's apparently still one thing from that. Is it a Sistine Chapel thing? I don't fucking know. That one's weird because that's got one. Apple pie has always been my mum's favourite. My dad always had this stupid line used to make her laugh. That's fine. Dad's a great storyteller. He wrote a book. I mean, that's all well and good, but where the fuck is this fucking thing? What was the... If we go all the way back, it was Garnishing the Truth by Steve Garland. Christine, you're the apple of my pie. Is that something to look up? No. I'm just wondering if there's like a photo of them together. Stevie G. Kids Joint Friday. Again, that's fine. Popular restaurant. They come often, is what it said. Chef's Signature. We've got the article from Chef's Signature. My Boston homepage. I'm guessing that'll just refresh this. My Boston homepage is run by someone with eclectic tastes. They claim to rate things on a scale from wicked awful to wicked wicked. Most recent thing to receive wicked awful was an antique store called Bee's Things. Apparently the owner, Beatrice, is not very friendly. The owner's name is Beatrice, and the store's name appears to be a somewhat awkward attempt at Bee's Things. Logo as pastel, like, all that's just whatever. Nothing appears to be relevant to your search. Fuck's sake. Friday seems to be the only thing connected to the search, which is fine. The thing here, I wish, like, why isn't there like a photo? Why isn't there a photo? I feel like the samosa cone should have more, or like something. According to the article, their parents who are now retired visit Friday often. They even have a signature dessert, the Sistine Apple. Has that been done in Chef's Signature? So it does find the Sistine Apple, which is quite weird. Maybe that is something... we can't look up keywords from the public library, can we? Nah. Shite. Oh, this is really annoying. Most people realise it's a Sistine Chapel pun. Assume that is all there is to it, it's actually secretly named after them. We appreciate that that is their name, but that's something that we also knew from fucking ages ago. Stephen Garland and Christine Farrow. Sistine. But where's like the family fucking photo? Apple pie has always been my mum's favourite. My dad always had this stupid line he used to make her laugh. Involving apple pie. We'd always go shopping and cook as a family. Like, why isn't there like a photo in the book? Father was not a chef, mother grew up on a farm. Come on. Nothing. Okay, something from here. 6 PCs released. Bestseller for a few months. Roottrees Rift. Claire Rafferty LaRue. 5 Ps. Roottrees Mania. I thought I'd fucking cracked this. There's a whole Anonymom thing. Is there nothing else? There really is nothing else. Where are all of these fucking photos? I feel like it can't all be from this, surely. Well, okay, we're gonna fucking periodicals. We'll look up Piketty. We'll go fucking Anonymom. Piketty exposed personal details about the story of Anonymom under the headline Anonymom the Anonicon. He said Anonymom worked as a manager at a department store in North Carolina and her daughter's name was Courtney May. But we don't know who Anonymom is. So what if we go Courtney May? Nothing. North Carolina. He also said the woman they vouched for in her famous cover story, they didn't identify news time, perhaps to avoid being sued. Corinne S. Pickaninny is not a credible publication, their information wasn't particularly... So hold on, so... Anonymom claims to have been a secretary, and the woman who vouched for her is called Corinne S. So if we look up the confidential, is there a Corinne anywhere here? Corinne Schwartz and Beatrice Watts are no longer employed. From 1980, which is before Guy took... No, sorry, this is... So what if it's Courtney May Watts? Courtney May Watts. Holy shit. Okay. Wait. Why is this relevant? Courtney May is a simple website with black text on a white background and a few images. From the view counter you can tell you're one of only a few hundred people have visited it. She's not shy about claiming she's Jane Doe Roottrees. As proof, she's posted an obscured cover from the time she was featured on News Time, as well as a different picture of herself that appears to be a wedding photo. The website seems to be created in defence of her mother, who's been the target of public scrutiny. Under the headline, The True Story of Jane Doe Roottrees, courtesy of Courtney May Newton, formerly Watts, Courtney May writes, "Everyone has everything wrong. My mum approached the Roottrees before 5p's was ever on the cover of News Time. Nobody at the Roottrees company took us seriously, they only listened to us after we appeared on TV and in magazines. The site has a scanned letter from the Ruby legal group to Courtney May's mother Beatrice. In very polite legal terms, it seems to accuse her of exploiting their name and orders her to leave the Roottrees alone. It's dated from a few weeks before the 5p's article appeared in News Time, and it seems legitimate." Courtney May also discussed her mother's magazine feature in more detail. "Do you know how difficult it was to convince anyone to tell her story? My mum didn't want to show her face because everyone in the media we approached assumed she was lying because her story was just like 5p's, but my mum's story was first. Mum was advised by Ryan and Cork to tell News Time that seeing 5p's on the cover was what inspired her to go public. That's the only way News Time would agree to it and help her get on TV. It's not true, our story was first." Courtney's defence continues, but much of it seems repetitive and useless. Towards the end of the page, she discusses the DNA test and defends her mother's character. "My mum is amazing, she's the nicest woman in the world. She has diabetes and works at a department store, but still managed to help pay for my apartment in the big city so that I could stay with my high school sweetheart. I got a degree in nursing, so I learned about DNA in college, but I'm beginning to think it's all a lie. Mum's 100% confident that there's nobody else who could be the father. Either they did the test wrong or DNA is complete bullshit. She's not a liar." Interesting. So where did these fit in? Courtney May and Danny forever. In front of an ambulance. Sure. Where the fuck does any of that go? I bet you £1 million it's in the fucking top secret. Have I just cracked? I've cracked the difficult one. Shit! It's giving me nothing. Because unless I've got the Susan Ford thing completely fucking wrong and that's the last affair. But she's only got one kid and there are two here. Fuck. How on earth do I not have any fucking photos of Guy? It's so annoying. Like, what if we go... Okay, so we've got Christine Farrow. What about... What's the name? Christine Garland. Nothing. Periodicals. Butler County Times, Christine Farrow. What about Christine Garland? Puff Piece, Christine Garland. They wanted to move to their own restaurant. Antonelli's. Spider search that. Periodical search Antonelli's actually. We've been through this fucking thing before. That's just the same fucking thing. Jesus. Michelle Zimmer. Bookmarks. Lauren Roottrees did a signing. So, yeah, they're just finding fucking old pages now. God damn it. There's something I am missing here when it comes to the Flavio. Patricia. I mean, Guy's where? Guy's like... Where is Guy actually on the original thing? I thought he was here, but... That's him there. We never see Patricia. Okay. Patricia Hudson? What am I looking for here? Fuck. I could go and do the other fucking Nia Alves thing, but that's a bastard. Ashley... Yup. Protested by Peter. I can't believe there's no... I mean, there's not a photo of her anywhere. There's not like an actual insert. But again, we're going Teen Blast. We're going Ashley York. Then go to that Trans Miss Sao Paulo. We've found all the periodicals, so... I should begin to learn the ins and outs of running that. I feel like it's quite weird that TeleReady doesn't have anything in addition. Lack of resources online. So from here we know that it's Nia Alves. And I feel like that's the only logical thing. That's focused on our company, vague unsearchable details. She runs everything. She doesn't go to fucking things. So get Nia Alves. And that just comes up with the same stuff. So then we've got the only other thing that we've got here is Nia Alves in the periodicals. So I know she's in Business Watch, she's not in Butler County Times, she's not a chef, she's not going to be in the University magazine, she might be in News, nope she's not, and she might be in Piccadilly, she is not, Portland Telegraph, probably not, Silver Screen magazine, definitely not, Starlet, no, Teen Blast, no, Telephoto, also no, she's only in Business Watch. Business Watch mentioned her by name a few times. Most relevant appearance is the struggle of American media companies to do business with foreign counterparts. Trans Miss Sao Paulo in Brazil is discussed. She's extremely private about her identity. She once used her connections to have a reporter fired from a rival network and blacklisted. Journal claimed this was a way to shut down a story he was doing about her personal life, including that her marriage in 1973 was not of her own choice. Research claimed she'd essentially had her husband forced on her at the age of 15. Child brides were not outlawed until 1990. Also claims that past appearances have been for show, they don't live together, she resents her own parents for the arrangement. Final claim was that she must have made her money under the table through nefarious and possibly illegal means during Brazil's dictatorship, from her husband. As his research uncovered, she could not possibly have earned enough to to start a media company. Then he fled for his safety. There is nothing searchable on here unless I am really missing something. Like... Is child brides in Brazil is not going to show up anything. Edson and Sonia Suarez shows up. Nothing. Edson Suarez shows up. All this crap about him. Manager an automotive manufacturing plant for a major American car company. He was put in charge of Alvalagos by the military government in 1973. Knowledge of American businesses allowed him to do new factories, became rich, many locals were relocated. His wife Sonia was put in charge of a TV station. And there is nothing about this. It's like we can't even look up Telly Reddy's coverage of it. He remained in office until 1988. Yeah, fuck. I don't understand how there's not like a Guy Hudson Brazil Roottrees thing. Is that anything? I don't know if that's anything. Search periodicals, Business Watch. What about Edson Suarez in Business Watch? Nothing. News Time? Nothing. No, nothing in Piketty. Nothing in the Portland Telegraph. Nothing in Telephoto. You may be able to find more by searching for individual people involved in deals that led to the company's creations. I mean... I don't know why Edson Suarez doesn't appear in this then. The factory was controversial. Roottrees visited Brazil around Christmas. Managed to break ground. Since then it was offering on one thing. Incendio de Bordo. 1982 was an arson attack. I don't know why. Would this be in a periodical? I can't imagine it would be. Maple file. Nothing. What about just Incendio de Bordo? I can't imagine that would be in Business Watch. No. Back to this. So nothing there except from a couple of things. Then Guy Hudson takes over, goes fucking daft. Beatrice Schwartz and Corinne Schwartz were hired. Susan Ford was hired under a special category. Travel expenses were huge. New Year's Eve ball, Christmas tree bash. Gwyneth Madsen, Gwyneth Cattrall. Christmas tree bash. Christmas tree bash. My God. Give me something. Give me like an image or something. Jesus. Oh, this is difficult. Right, okay. We shall review once again our evidence. We're going Piketty. There is 7 things here. There is so much to be found. So we're gonna go with Piketty, and we're gonna go with Cicely Sanchez, which I have spelt wrong once again. Cicely Sanchez. In an issue that focused on a talking toy fish and the demonic messages, Piketty had an article about a cancelled book by Cicely Sanchez. The book's subject was Guy Hudson. Issue was said to contain pictures that Cicely did not have the right to publish. It'll all be those pictures, I swear to God. That's all I need to finish the full fucking thing. So, we've got this. The issue of Piketty magazine, the story concerned, it seemed that it used photos of Guy that Cicely did not have the rights to publish. Magazine was pulled from the shelves. Demonic fish toy. Nothing there. What about if we go demonic fish toy in fucking periodicals? Let's just go nuts. Nothing. Do we have to type in Basel Bub? Nothing. There is seven things with that. There's gotta be something. Magazine was pulled from shelves. A version you found in your periodical search had stuff removed. I mean... Fuck. Right, this is the thing for all of it. This is it. Like fucking looking up Piketty, right? And it's Piketty magazine. At one point, Piketty ran an article about Cicely Sanchez, an author. She claims to have written an unread book about Guy Hudson. The article was not even the main focus of the issue, yet the magazine was threatened legally by the Roottrees Corporation. That particular issue, the Big Sass Sea Bass issue, was pulled from shelves. The Big Sass Sea Bass is a talking fish that sits on a fake mount on your wall. When you press the button to speak into it, it mimics your voice and then insults you. Okay. Recently appeared on the cover of Piketty magazine in the same issue that a Roottrees related article appeared. That issue was removed from the stores after Roottrees sued the magazine. Issue has become a collector's item ripe for conspiracy theories about what the Roottrees were trying to keep from people. So, is there like a Roottrees conspiracy? During the initial search, you came across Thomas Overwood's conspiracy page about the Roottrees. 8 months later, the page still exists and is thriving. The visitor counter has reached 7 digits, many older articles have been replaced. Seems that the recent uprising in Roottrees news has left Thomas Overwood with a constant stream of events to base new theories on. More than one of his theories involve Roottrees' deaths being faked. According to Overwood, statistically, when you have this many high-profile people who've died in a family, odds are that one of them faked their death. It's just math. This newfound focus on death faking seems to coincide with a post mentioning that he's begun believing the guy's not dead theory. In his own words, my eyes have been opened, all of this is beginning to make too much sense. One of his posts detailed the belief that Ron Roottrees is still in charge, Gwyn's Roottrees' death was faked, and that Clark is only there to throw people off. Apparently this allowed Ron to travel to France to develop the new candy recipe in secret. Another is about the rapper 5Ps. He can't possibly be a Roottrees. One of his first album songs, when he was performing under the Devil name, actually mentioned that he wanted to have sex with Raina. Not even Sam Madsen is spared. According to Overwood, the author of Six Pieces isn't real. Sam Madsen is an anagram for Am Madness. They're purposely leaving hints for us. He claims that by using Six Pieces with the Lauren Roottrees book as a one-time pad, he's began to decrypt a cipher. Most of the cipher seemed meaningless, but he managed to pick out the words people and vastness and is working on figuring out what it means. Also a request at the bottom, next year 2000 is a leap year and Overwood is looking for funds and volunteers to catch the Roottrees red-handed in Operation RT29. He specifically mentions not to volunteer if you've ever drunk Spirit Cola. He doesn't go into why. Oh my god, okay. Thomas Overwood. That's the conspiracy theorist. What's him? Alright, it's just the same thing. Guy's not dead. Let's look at this. Is this... Oh my god. We're printing JPEGs. We're fucking printing JPEGs. Holy shit. The guy's not dead conspiracy stems from a website that focuses on clues that the Roottrees have supposedly hid all over the place. Clues on candy wrappers, in-print ads, in television commercials, in their jingles, etc. The story, according to the website, is that Guy Hudson was a terrible president of the Roottrees company, introduced multiple failed products. Something needed to be done that would put the company immediately and instantly back in the favour of consumers, so they killed off Guy Hudson and replaced him with a new president. This move immediately garnered sympathy, and the company recovered the next year more popular than ever. The next president stayed much further out the limelight, and some people even theorised he was simply Guy Hudson in an elaborate disguise, which is why he stopped appearing in public. The people who run the website are asking for help. They're certain that there's a clue to all of this that accidentally leaked in a banned article from the magazine Piketty. On their page is a scan of the magazine's cover, the interview with Cicely Sanchez about Guy Hudson, and some photos. We've done it. We've done it. Guy Hudson. Photos from magazine. The issue Piketty magazine that came from was pulled from the shelves, managed to find it online. Piketty does not label its individual photos. Both photos were instead under the shared label. Cicely was provided these photos by the Roottrees company for use in her book. In the background of the photo there's a Christmas tree. That looks Brazil based. Who's that? Now we're fucking... Oh, I think we have cracked this. There's fucking Guy Hudson. There's Zach Morden. There's someone holding drinks. Holy shit. I think we might have... Let's fucking apply these right now, right? So... we're going purely off of vibes here. I reckon that is Edson Suarez. I think that is Sonia Alves. I think these two are additional Guy Hudson photos. I just realised there was another photo there, wasn't there? Right, no, these are there. Hold on. When was that? Wait, fuck. Wait, come on. Fuck, we're on it. We've almost got this. Right, so when was Christine hired? So Zach Morden, Guy Hudson has replaced Ernest Madsen Jr. as special man. Guy Hudson replaces Zachariah Morden. At that time, Christine Garland is no longer working at Roottrees. 1978. So that photo... Fuck, come on. I think that's her. We'll chuck her in for now. Holy shit, what a rush. That is amazing. Right, okay, Piketty. Let's go. Interview with Cicely Sanchez. You claim to have been paid a significant amount to write a book about one of the Roottrees, Guy Hudson. He was president for a short period at the end of the 1970s. I met him on New Year's Eve actually, the last night of 1978. Guy liked to throw big parties. I was just coming off of Changed Man and looking for my next project. His wife learned who I was. She invited me to a party and they cornered me to talk about a book. This was the first time anyone recognised me from my work. I'd finally made it. The book they asked me to write sounded great, but then none of the stuff that made him interesting was allowed to stay. Chop chop, snip snip, anything with even the slightest threat to Guy's image ended up gonzo. What was the stuff that made him interesting? At his core, Guy was not complicated. In fact, I think I could boil him down to 2 traits. First, he wanted to be seen as the second coming of the great Elias Roottrees. Second, he'd never be satisfied living the life needed to be seen that way. He had his fortune and his good looks and he really liked to exploit that to pick up women, but he couldn't let anyone else know, so it cost him a lot to cover up. That was the only interesting aspect of Guy. He was James Bond trying to convince people he was Mr. Rogers, I guess. Mr. Rogers, really? Maybe that's not the best metaphor, but Elias Roottrees was boring as all hell and all about family. Guy did everything he could to be seen that way. After I submitted my first draft, he sent me this garbage book, The Roottrees Legacy, with Elias on the cover. The last time he and I met had even switched out his orange suits for the same green ones Elias wore. And remember fancy flavours? Guy knew that part of Elias's legacy was the 5-piece flavours, so that's what Guy tried to do. Caviar was a disaster here. It was actually somewhat popular in Brazil for whatever reason. In Christmas 1979 he went to Brazil to open the Roottrees Brazil factory. Guy was always hopping around the world trying to recreate that success. So how come the book never came out? It's complicated. I had an out in my contract. Surprisingly, Guy signed the contract my lawyers wrote without running it by anyone in his legal department. I can pull my name off the book at any time, but Guy still got the content. After I left, it probably got a lot harder to convince any real publisher to give it their time. He was the president, right? Do you know why he never released it himself? If I had to guess, his family very wisely put a stop to it. Mid-1981, months after I'd already moved on, he called me back and showed me a final draft. Do you know how expensive it is to publish one copy of a book? Had my name on it in big shiny embossed letters, like all problems in his life. Throwing money at me was his attempt to win me back, but I had half the page count and the narrative was torn to bits. No thanks. The dinner was good, imported steak that likely cost as much as a month of my mortgage, and we all got pretty drunk. He sent his mistress, Susie something, into the bathroom to proposition me. Poor girl, I remembered her from our trips overseas. She was too good for him. Anyways, he died soon after, and that was the last that ever came up. What can you tell us about the family? Any insight into the scandals from the recent book by Sam Madsen? Sorry, can I just say, he sent his mistress Susie. That is Susan. And that's his mistress. That's the last piece of the puzzle. I actually haven't read it, I just skimmed the sections on Guy to see why people were suddenly calling me up asking about the man. I see she did well for what she had to work with. She only had rumours, whereas I spent some time tailing him. Sometimes he knew, sometimes he didn't. He invited me to join them when dealing with Roottrees Brazil, but I actually had people on him when he went to Australia, France and China too. When he met with someone, I'd figured out who they were and how they were involved. Doubly so if the meeting happened when he didn't want me to be around. Despite his best efforts, I got the whole truth, including things even his family never knew. For example, the daughter of his business partner in Australia, I think her name was Robin, he and she definitely spent a few nights together that he didn't want his family to know about, but I did. Madsen got things wrong. Sam mentioned Guy's affairs and treats them like most people would logically think to treat them, like the infidelity was a problem for Patricia. When his wife first approached me though, it wasn't to talk, if you get my meaning. On paper and in public it was a marriage like any other, but in reality it was more of a mutually beneficial arrangement. They both got what they wanted out of it, the same thing. What was that? I assume I only have to spell it out so you can get it in writing for your readings. Women. Patricia enjoyed the company of women and the swinger scene made that more accessible. I told her I wasn't interested in her and Guy. Found out later that if I'd said yes, her next question would have been whether or not her husband actually had to be there too. Guy on the other hand was seen in a traditional marriage and at the same time could bed any woman that found him charming. I can assure you that was exactly the type of marriage he was interested in. Okay. Is that infidelity then? If she was down, maybe she didn't know about all of them. Right, where does that fucking leave us? I think, judging by the fact that she was always floating around, where is that? I think that's Susan. But quite who her children are, I do not know. We're so fucking close, man. We're so close. But okay, so we're gonna go to notes section. Grandorf Dove is like the start of this chain. Grandorf Dove is located about an hour from where the Roottrees offices used to be in Butler County. Serves much more of Pennsylvania. Danish word for deaf. We know that there's the Hudson Wing that was sponsored by Thingy. Caretakers of deaf children. 250k for the building. Hudson Wing first opened. We know from periodicals, if we go to Butler County Times, And we go for Grandolph Dove. Centre of a crime article in 1982. Seems that someone defaced the school and vehicles outside the brand new Hudson Wing. Week later, Thomas Hughes. Mr. Hughes was convinced that he was not the father of Mrs. Hughes' current pregnancy. He was released on bail. The school had agreed not to press criminal charges. Thomas Hughes, Mrs. Hughes, and the Hudson Wing all avoided further fucking... That's... I am... thinking, what do we get out of this? So there's nothing for Susan Ford. What about like Principal Ford? No. Grandolph Dove. Grandolph Dove School for the Deaf. Miss Ford's fluent in 5 languages. Oh, yeah, definitely her. Securing funding for the Hudson Wing. How do I get information about her children, though? That's the thing. Is it a periodical thing? I can't imagine it would be. I mean, it's not going to be fucking Piketty. News Time, Business Watch, Butler County Times. Yeah, Hudson Wing. That's just the same thing, isn't it? Thomas Hughes. Maybe Thomas Hughes? Nope. Guy Hudson. Absolute mad shagger. Looking at the files here. How is that? Obviously, like, these haven't disappeared deduction wise because they're not logged in. Look at how much we extracted from that though. Holy shit. That had 7 previously. Mid-1981. Sent his mistress Susie something. Remembered her from trips overseas. He had a fling with Robin but didn't do anything. Patricia was down for stuff. We have we don't really have additional photos, do we? No. I mean, I'm gonna guess they took the surname Ford. Rather than Hudson. I think we know all of these, right? Chef signature reminders. Mrs. Hughes. According to reports of investigation and the police reports, trials and restraining order, Mr. Hughes was convinced he was not the father of Mrs. Hughes' current pregnancy. He was released on bail. School has agreed not to press criminal charges after an agreement was made for pay for the damages and for the couple to begin divorce proceedings. So like that solves that thing, but again, this whole like Susan Hughes, nothing. Susan Ford, nothing. And she was Susan Ford. We know because Susan Ford. Nothing in there. Nothing in Business Watch. Nothing in News Time. Nothing in the Portland Telegraph. Starlet. Teen Blast. No. Why the hell would Susan. Where the fuck is... Where the hell are we going to get anything else? I feel like it's Grandorf School for the Deaf. Serves much of that part. Okay. Scan through all the biographies. She's not deaf herself, she was responsible for the Hudson Wing. Now the Hudson Wing isn't even mentioned in... I mean it's there, but is it mentioned in Business Watch? Butler County Times, yes. Chef's Signature, won't be in the Miami Mercury, probably not News Time. Portland Telegraph, maybe? It's not in any of these. Back to the spider search. According to history, say they got their name after the president of the Roottrees company donated money towards it. Mentioned that she learned ASL from the main school before the Hudson Wing even existed to surprise her future husband who was deaf. After realising how useful a service like this could be to non-deaf people, she convinced Roottrees management. She became the first teacher on the campus. I don't know what we need to do to get more information on these kids though. Like it doesn't say anything about her elsewhere. Like there's nothing in here about her. There is nothing... I'm thinking. The only other mention of her here is Susie. He sent his mistress to proposition me. She was too good for him. What can you tell us about the family? I wonder. She only had rumours, but I spent some time tailing him. I actually had people on him when he was in Australia, France and China too. I wonder if Susan was the one feeding her information. The daughter of his business partner in Australia. Patricia. Swinger. Yep. Guy on the other hand. Susie something into the bathroom. I just don't know where we get the other photos from.
3 hours later.
I'm fucking struggling here. Okay, we know that the only way to Susan Ford in general is is what? So we go here, we go Grand... Ah, fuck, I've forgotten the name of it. Hudson Wing, we'll type in the... So Grandov Dove, now Grandov School for the Deaf. So that's the first article. We know it's there. Grandov Dove. Hudson Wing's not in any of the periodicals. Have we looked? Business Watch. Grandov School for the Deaf. Oh, fucking Jesus, man. Surely that would have showed up with the other one. Grandov School for the Deaf has made a few odd appearances here and there in the Butler County Times since 1990. It's not too many that you can't look at all of them, and so after scrolling through a few pages, you managed to find something incredibly useful in an article that isn't even focused on the school itself. Local students provide key evidence in scientific study. The article from March of this year, 1999, mentions that the Ford sisters, who attend public school in Butler County, are one of only a handful of identical twins in the world who suffer from two different genetic issues. One of them has asthma and the other one has a deadly allergy to peanuts. Their mother, a Miss Susie Ford, who's principal at the nearby Grandov School for the Deaf, was originally contacted by researchers looking to identify if there were any sets of twins where one was born deaf and the other was not. While she didn't have any twins attending her school, she asked if her daughters Melissa and Heather could be useful. Turns out they were. She says they couldn't be more different. My youngest, we all call her that even though it's only about 15 minutes, is shy but essentially hasn't stopped running from the moment she learned to scamper. Asma has kept her sister off the soccer field, but she's the definition of extrovert, is even performing in a local production of Is There Life After High School later this year. Article includes a picture of the girls added to your evidence. It seems like a high school in Butler County performed that. Cast list mentions some names including Heather Ford. Right, fucking last two photos. Photo accompanied an article about scientific study in the Butler County Times. The Ford twins were used as part of a nationwide study of how allergies and other diseases affect twins differently. Twin on the left is holding an inhaler, twin on the right is holding an EpiPen. Okay, so we know... Ah, shit. So they're both students, so we know that. And it's student K12, which is definitely a thing now. Heather Ford performed that, and she has asthma, so the one that has the inhaler is the older one, I think? Or was I wrong there? Melissa and Heather. My youngest is shy but hasn't stopped running. Right, so the one with asthma is the oldest, and that's Heather. And then Melissa is that one, and is that one. Fucking... Oof! That was a fucking Spartan effort there. Christine Farrow, Susan Ford, Heather Ford, Melissa Ford, and Sonia Alves. We also added a whole bunch of optional photo entries. Boo fucking yeah.
I know you probably thought you were done.
Ah, fuck.
But it turns out what you're doing here might have some pretty major repercussions on the family tree.
You think?
Again. Also, there's something really strange happening. I can't explain it.
Neither of us can.
I'd call it a simple misunderstanding, but it's digging at the pit of my stomach. I just have a feeling. Clark?
Last week, let's just say being the president, sometimes people bring me things.
Just
Okay.
skip to the important part.
Right. One of our janitors brought me some hair she'd found in Ruby Spratt's trash. It was Bonnie Hudson's. Bonnie's Guy's sister. She'd sent us her hair to test potential Roottrees, since her DNA is closest to Guy's. But Ruby threw it out, and I wasn't sure why she would have done that. Especially right before we began testing the tree you provided.
So, okay, the person in charge of testing has not been doing thorough testing. Oh, fuck.
She told me she thought The samples needed to be fresh every time they did a test.
It seems really odd. Ruby was the one who convinced us to do DNA testing in the first place. She seemed so knowledgeable.
Oh
I
no.
don't like it. You've done more of a deep dive on these people than anybody else has. Clark will keep a closer eye on the DNA tests from now on. You have an eye for anomalies. We need you to find the smoking guns.
If there's anyone you're 100% positive can't be a Roottree,
Or any you've got definitive evidence are Roottrees, then we might be able to catch Ruby in a lie.
What? Oh, fuck. Definitive evidence for being a Rootree? How the fuck am I supposed to definitively do that? Inconsistencies. Filling in this person is optional. Now's the time to review all possible Roottrees and input your deductions. You have 13 possible Roottrees left to identify. Right, we're gonna push on and do this. Holy shit. Ruby Spratt, the company's lawyer, was caught throwing away DNA samples. These were intended to be used to test new potential Roottrees, and we now need to figure out which of them are which. Additionally, with the suspicion of Ruby Spratt, it's possible that some of her behaviours in the past have been cast into doubt. This is going to be really difficult, actually. Because, like, we can't DNA test any of these. Right, we'll look at the inconsistency first. So, the idea here is that Guy... Okay, so this is Beatrice. So, okay, we're going to go with Beatrice Watts, who was a secretary, who had a daughter called Courtney May Watts, who is here and was also a nurse. Oh, right, shit, okay, this is like... Okay, sorry, I wasn't sure if it was just we were ticking here. Company records, you haven't found this clue yet. Oh, fuck, okay. Right, let's... We know the spouse's name is Daniel. And they had a photo. Where's the photo? Where's the photo? Where's the photo? Where's the photo? Courtney May Watts. Ah, wait, no. Courtney May Watts had a website, didn't she? Courtney... Fucking hell, typed. Oh my god, my typing's gone all over the shop. We're in the end game now. We're good. So Courtney May Newton. So he's Daniel Newton. Danny, and Danny can be this boy. We've also got another photo for Zachariah. There's the boy. Okay, so go through from the top. 6 pieces. You haven't found this clue yet. She ran the farm. One of Sam's farm supervisors was named Elizabeth. Elizabeth had a daughter who Sam never met, but who worked as one of Guy's secretaries. According to Elizabeth, a caterer from a local area met her daughter at one of Guy's parties, and they eloped quickly due to a pregnancy. Elizabeth wasn't aware that the party was for swingers. Rumour has it their daughter showed up with Guy, didn't seem comfortable switching partners. Not sure what that was. Guy's main positive contribution was whatever. Smith cheated on Gwyneth. Gwyneth was always much kinder to Sam than Elias was, and was the first to invite Sam to family events. She had no hard evidence. Sam always got the impression that Gwyneth was able to coerce Elias into allowing Sam back into the family using some kind of leverage instead of it being a natural course of events. She mentioned that Elias and Gwyneth were known to loudly argue, sometimes about another woman. Sam also says her son Ernie once asked her, "Who's Beth?" He overheard them yelling about someone of that name. As far as Sam knows, Elias once had a secretary named Elizabeth, a different Elizabeth than the supervisor from the farm. I think that is because I think was it our son Ernie? Yeah, I'm gonna go with. I don't know why it says I haven't found the clue yet. I think the conclusion is that he is. I'm going to go with that. And then this guy is not a Rootree, because we know he's not a Rootree, but we think this guy is. And I'm just realised now, it says you haven't found this clue yet. That's like, it's not. Yes. Mary Beth Clementine is the like a miracle Rootree. Nah. Crocodile. Mark Clementine. We could just look him up. Nothing there. Mary Beth Clementine. Also mentions unusual circumstances of her second son's adoption. I mean, he's a blood Rootree. He might be a Rootree. In fact, to be honest, it would be like, it's interesting. What does it mean? But it's impossible to prove. I think that is possible to prove. Just, I don't know, batter miracle and get some stuff. We missed fucking hell. Oh my god, you need to find all the clues. How am I missing all of this? I don't really know, actually. We don't have a photo of Stephen Garland, so we can't even compare like that way. I mean, I think he's a Rootree. Just eyeballing it. We don't have another photo for Susan, do we? Because that's not her. At least I don't think it is. How are we missing so many of these? Holy shit. Previously on the Roottrees are dead. I'm guessing there's nothing, like, I'm guessing we finalised this. I reckon she is potentially a Rootree. There doesn't seem to be much to do in terms of, like, actually check. Maybe there's something up with Lang Min? So there's Lucy Lang, but then it was Lang Xiao. Yeah? Shit, was it? What was it? Xiao Yao? Fuck, I've fucking forgotten the name of the woman. It was Xing Yao, actually. No? What the fuck is the name of the woman above us? Lang Xin Yu. Fuck. Not Shao. I've got an extra G in there. Okay, let's look up fucking Lang Tai. Trans quilts. Okay. We'll go for Piece of Asia. Piece of Asia is nearly as accomplished as Lang Tai. What about Han Junwei? Might as well look him up. Oh, he's only in that. So Lang Xin Yao. She's only in this. So we'll go Linda Han. We're going to go back to Lang Xin Yu. Xin Yu was an early adopter of IVF. I mean, we're not going to get anything like from that, are we? Okay. Glad we got some definition on IVF. She started calling herself Lucy Lang. Let's look up Lang Tai again. Lang Tai Textiles. We'll look up the CEOs. So Lang Hongbo, then there was Lang Hong Yu. So they're all just the same fucking article. It's weird. She's in Business Watch. Much fewer results than Lang Tai. Lang Xin Yu was even featured in Business Watch in 1982. She missed out on Watchman of the Year. Sizable article. She was born in 1947, the first of 2 children. Mother was already in her 30s, had trouble conceiving a second time until 3 years later. That was Xin Yu's sister. Became clear that her father was not going to have a son to pass the family business down. This is how Xin Yu became involved. Her father stayed the president of Lang Tai for a very long time. His daughters grew up, he began training them in the hopes that one of them would have a son who could take over. One helped him in China and the other in the USA. When he died, due to societal dynamics, the business passed to his male sibling, a younger brother. Many in the know knew that this could be a problem. His brother, Xin Yu's uncle, was not a businessman and was not much younger than his brother. During this time, Xin Yu essentially ran the company as her uncle's consultant. He began to have problems related to dementia, and Xin Yu had already been running things behind the scenes, performed somewhat of a power play. She stopped working until the results of her absence began to cause problems. Only then did they admit that they needed her. Nice. Okay, so if we look up Lang Tai, it was mentioned often. Earliest mentions stand out. Very unusual, doesn't involve Lang Tai's business. Article details a new at the time medical industry. In vitro fertilization was brand new. After the first successful IVF birth, it seemed the industry began to grow. Okay. Cost that could charge for the services was Business Watch. At the time, the CEO of Lang Tai was Lang Hongbo, and his younger daughter Lang Xin Yao and her husband could not have children. So in an attempt to create a suitable heir, he paid Chi Jeans to have their child implanted in his older daughter, who was unmarried. Cost for this was just over $100,000 US. Chi Jeans, pronounced Key Jeans. That's not how you would pronounce it, but okay. was a medical company with operations in both the US and China. They made international news in 1994 after a whistleblower came forward. Apparently their services were in some case falsified. When they did often perform IVF, the whistleblower proved that a few of their customers paid for a very different service, an alibi. Company would claim they performed IVF on someone who was already pregnant to create a cover story for high-profile families who did not want to give up the child but did not want shame on an unmarried mother. The whistleblower claimed that they'd helped do this at least 6 times, only provided proof of one case, the daughter of an American politician who's unrelated to your investigation. Chi Jin sat down soon after and both founders have reportedly fled to Lebanon. She is a fucking blood relative, Roottrees. You've been found out. I'm gonna go with both of the. I mean, they're either both not or both are. It's kind of hard to tell, because we don't know. We don't know. I mean, it's a genetic condition. See, this is the strange thing, because, like, both of them... So there's a wee bit of, like, oh, they didn't. When you say it's impossible to prove, is it impossible to prove with the information we have, or can we DNA test? Like, officially? Because we don't know. Like, I don't know, like, Thomas Hughes might have genetically been deaf, but that doesn't mean that he's passed asthma on. It's not how that works, as far as I'm fucking aware. I mean, they're twins, so there is possibility. I'm gonna go with yes. Might end up wrong, but hey, we're trying. This is a fucking tricky one, because it's the fucking plated loaf pish. "10 to 12 years later they met again. King's personal baker. Flora was both delighted. She felt as she was torn in two. She'd already prepared buns for the palace ovens. So I'm kind of going to go with yes, and like, I mean, Stephen Garland basically was like, yeah, I'll be the dad. The company records, it kind of tracks. Fuck it, I'm gonna go with yes. I'm just, maybe I'm wrong here, it'll be interesting seeing, but... I'm gonna go with he is a Roottrees as well. So we've got Roottrees, Jesus Christ, guy. Fucking spreading the seed around. We've got those two that are married. I think that's correct. I think he's a Roottrees as well. He's not a Roottrees, because I think he was adopted and it's like all formal. I think he is a Roottrees. Don't know where the other Susan Ford foe is. It can't be her, is it? It seems a bit... I don't know what the Oh, do I need to get this spot on? Is it like, do I need to get it right in the same way that... Oh god. Oh. We don't know whether Ronald and Robert are actually Roottrees? What the fuck? Wait, what? Has there been a whole bunch of shit we've just missed? I am so fucking confused. What? Okay, back to here, I guess. Jesus. Reading the deja vu. Clark's gotten married again. No true she's ever been married. Shura lost Jacob and Gwyn divorced Wild Bill just before she had her second. Not even I can blame her for that. I've seen what he gets up to in Starlit, but neither of us ever took a second husband. Where world's moving, I guess it was inevitable someone in this family would remarry. Can only wonder if Clark's apparent disrespect for marriage is due to the lack of a real father. Suspect that he's marrying Jane to keep her from running out in the band. What the fuck? What? Why is this even in question? Surely it was Gwyn that gave birth. I don't even know where to begin on this. I don't think there's even any. Ronald and his brother Robert both worked on a TV show called Brother Trouble. Oh yeah, there was a whole thing about them trying to be removed from the Clansed Trust. Okay. Clansed Trust. Okay. I am very fucking confused by this. I know he tried to get them removed, but what was the reason for it? Okay. Yep. So this is the... Yeah, Chris Rafferty's Prodigy site. Are you the son? Did you ever meet the Roottrees? Okay, let's go with that. Are you son of Clark Rafferty? Don't remember. Guy Hudson, Ernie Madsen. Used to know the Roottrees, but never the sisters. I have a photo from when I was 5 in the office with my dad and Guy who was there. I made myself sick by eating chocolate. Some women who I don't know clean my face. I don't know my memories of that come from the picture or not. I knew Ernie had a heart problem because my dad told him on one of the phone calls. Oh. So... what the fuck, man? Like, they're all the same, like... What would be the thing here? So... This is Chris Rafferty. Few dead ends. Brother Trouble. Let's look up that. Brother Trouble. Okay, Roxy Ron Rootree. It was announced as president of Rootree during the Rootree Rift. Next press release immediately reversed the announcement. A few weeks later, Ron was dropped entirely. Hundreds of results. Ron in Business Watch. So we're going to look up Rootree Rift. No president of the Rootree company. Entire family was made aware. Missing Madsen lawyers. Clancy Trust. Claimed that a draft of the announcement was made prematurely. Okay. So we'll go with Ron Rootree in Business Watch. What really happened with Rootree? The article mentions that nobody from Rootree that they reached out to was willing to go on record. Instead, the timeline of events has been constructed from public record, accidental leaks and a source on the inside. Timeline says the family held a preliminary vote after Carl Rootree died, but the release of 6 pieces decided they wanted Ron Rootree to take over because of his experience running RR Productions. Ron seemed way too eager and personally motivated. They were warned he would gut the Clancy Trust to remove Robbie Rootree. The family was notoriously unwilling to do anything that could risk their wealth. They stalled and Ron became frustrated with the delay. When 6 pieces came out, he saw it was a chance to force us into action. How is there so many clues to find here? What the fuck? Robbie was released from French prison after serving a few years for assault. His embezzlement arrest was partially featured in 6 pieces. Robbie's participation in the Clancy Trust was a key piece of evidence in Sam's favour, have since become much more publicly infamous. He's not yet returned to the United States, but when journalists reached out to him recently about the death of his mother, he had to issue a blanket statement. The death of my mother was hard on our family. My brother and I, after spending time together caring for her in mourning, have finally made amends. It was highly transformative few weeks when it came to our relationship. I'm in recovery from my addiction. Major aspect of that process is that I wish to stay private. Okay. I feel like we're just going to backtrack here. Small rumours. He was thousands of dollars in debt. I have no fucking idea how to go through all this. That's nuts. Archived evidence here, is there anything? I don't think there's any, like, investigation things. Nah. Okay. We go again. So... none of these have any... Okay. November Rootree, Clancy Trust. So that's Ruby Legal Enterprises. So Ruby Legal Enterprises is the weird one here. I wonder whether I just fucking take a stab at it, because this video is already getting very long. I appreciate that. I'm gonna go with that, and then I'm going with that. Oh my god, is there more? Is there folk I'm missing here? What the fuck? Or maybe they're just not correct. I don't actually know how to submit this.
2 hours later.
Okay, right, so... I think I've probably got... I don't think I've got all of these right by any means, but I think maybe it only seals the deal when we finish this, which means I've got one of these wrong. She's a nurse. Let's type... Well, let's go Courtney May Watts. Everyone has everything wrong. Mum approached the Roottrees before 5Ps was ever on the cover. My mum is amazing. She works at a department store. Fuck. Okay, so she's now working at retail, I guess? No? Is there a department store worker? Interior design. Ah, fuck, did I get that wrong? She works at a department store. I got a degree in nursing. Oh, fuck, I've missed the giant I'm ready button. Christ. Okay. I think... I don't know if I've got these two right at all. I think maybe one of these brothers is a possible. It's not impossible to prove though. Like, I don't know. Let's go with it. We have found all of the people. Maybe we will get some of this optional stuff wrong. Let's do it. But first, we got Daniel Newton. We added Zachariah Morden. We got these number of optional entries left for next. Fuck! Did I get thingy wrong? No, I did get Beatrice Watts right.
Beatrice and Courtney May. Clark, can you swing another test against Bonnie's DNA?
This time I'll be sure to have them verify both samples in person.
Yep. 1 week later. Hey, you were right.
Using the family tree you filled out, as well as DNA tests, we were able to uncover the truth behind all the inconsistencies. Clark's handling the business.
Okay.
But I've come to thank you and fill you in on everything we've learned.
Oh, let's go.
Buckle up, because it's been one heck of a week. Actually, that's an understatement. It's not every week you discover your family company is being sabotaged by someone they trusted, but that's the kind of time we've been having. Like I said,
we'll start with Guy Hudson.
Some popcorn. We'll start with Guy Hudson. Guy had a frankly ridiculous number of potential children. What shocked me is how many graduated from potential to confirmed. We can even prove he was aware of them. The smoking gun was how he used company money to pay off a lot of women.
That's fair.
He hid it with a method inspired by his idol, Elias. 5-piece flavors. The flavors he was paying to research were a ruse. He developed flavors based on the initials of the women he was paying. Which considering one of their names started with X.
Fucking hell.
Let's start with
That's good.
Guy was paying her under the name Caviar. There were some other clues. James was born 9 months after Zach's party. Christine was there with Guy, and when she got pregnant, she panicked. Steve stepped up. He even turned it into one of his recipe stories.
Good guy.
Not all of Guy's affairs led to offspring.
Steve.
He may have slept with Robin Martin, but she didn't have children, so we'll never know. Also,
got
not
that.
every child of Guy's affair partners were his. Robert Gardner was born after his parents had already moved to Boston.
I knew one of them wasn't right, and it would have been the younger one. Bollocks. So I was right on that, wrong on Garland, Robert.
Skipping Beatrice for now. Up next is Leng Xin-Yu. When Guy showed up in China, she was into America. And Americans. Dare I say redheads, even?
Yep.
When she got pregnant, her father paid key genes to fake IVF.
Nice.
They claimed her sister was unable to conceive, but her sister and Jerry had their own son, Mark.
Yep. So we were correct on that one, nice.
Sonia Alves was soon after. Nia was married at a very young age to a much older husband.
Their age wasn't that visible in the photo with them.
She resented him. I don't blame her. They allegedly spent no time together in private. Guy was in Brazil during Christmas 1979. It's the
I mean, maybe a
only
little
Christmas
bit,
on
but...
records. Flavio was born 9 months later, and like the others, Guy started paying Sonia.
We were right on that one. It'll be
Last was
interesting if
Susan Ford,
Susan's.
hired to translate for Guy's overseas trips. It's easy to read into Guy's donation to her school, but there's no definitive proof there. She and Guy were witnessed together near the end of his life. Susan's husband was convinced he couldn't be the father of her daughters. Guy, though, paid double. The price of twins.
So is that a yes? Yeah, cool.
So, what about 5 Ps?
See if it turns out he's
Felix's
not, that'll be
mother,
amazing.
Joanna, doesn't have a 5 pieces flavor.
Yeah.
On top of that, his story doesn't really add up.
Yeah.
His mother already left.
I just
the
went
company
off the
by
fact he
time
was the
Guy became
confirmed one,
president.
but it might have been a
Lyrics
thing with
indicate he was born
Sprat.
sometime around 1975.
Yeah.
Alone, that wouldn't necessarily prove it. But there are
Yeah,
some suspicious
that's it.
connections between
Fuck.
Felix and the company's current lawyer, Ruby Spratt. They both grew up in Portland, in foster care, and according to the local paper, they definitely knew one another.
Right, okay,
Ruby was
that's
the one
good.
who approached the Roottrees to begin with. It was all a setup. Ruby and Felix saw my book's challenge to the Clancet Trust as an opportunity. His mother really had worked for Roottree, and Ruby was a respected lawyer. She exploited my family's
clever.
greed, worked
I
her
like
way
that.
into control of the trust, and ensured Felix got a piece. But they made some mistakes along the way. If you look at the 2 DNA tests that Ruby handled, they were both supposedly tested against Bonnie Hudson. But the 2 signatures that should both represent Bonnie don't match. After Clark and I confronted her, Ruby lawyered up. We
Right,
suspect
okay.
Ruby had Donatico test Felix against his own mother's DNA. He had a hairbrush of hers. They sent the female sample in remotely. On the second test, Bonnie's sample was tested locally, but Courtney May's was not. Ruby's been throwing away samples. We think she sent her own hair instead of Courtney May's, but it could have been anyone's. Ruby and Felix were in cahoots. As for why, they were both advocates of wealth redistribution.
I mean,
A
to be fair.
noble effort. But once they controlled the family fortune, they became just as greedy as the worst members of my family.
The money corrupted them.
They were so
That was
eager
good,
to
that was
personally
clever.
wield the wealth for their own cause that they sabotaged any other claims.
So that's a no. Denied.
That finally brings us to Anonymom, aka Beatrice Watts. Her tales of Guy's parties and payoffs were true. She even approached Ruby before 5 Ps was on news time.
So that's how
Ruby
they
used
concocted
Beatrice's
that.
truths to make Felix's lies feel real, then ruined the DNA test so that Beatrice looked phony in the public court of opinion. I feel worst for her in all of this.
So correct. Nice.
While Ruby and Felix stole the show, there were some other potential new family members as well. Miracle Roottrie was less of an open and shut case. That said, it's very likely he had a son with Mary Beth Clementine, not Stuart. Mary Beth adopted him before
Yeah,
she
we got
ever
that
set
bit
foot.
right.
That leaves Mark. The timeline fit. He showed up about 9 months after Mary Beth visited Miracle. And the basket baby story is a bit too convenient. If that's not enough on its own, he was also bailed out by the sister of Edith Roottree, Miracle Jr.'s wife, after she changed her name to win that silly contest. Our best guess
Did
is that
not put
Mark was
that
told
together.
by his mother whose son he was, and used that fact to put some pressure on Miracle Jr. We have no real proof of that, but nothing else really makes sense for why they'd be connected in that way.
So is that, yeah, that is a yes. No for this guy, yes for Mark. That's cool, we got that right.
Elias's affair was the most ambiguous. Gwyneth was able to coerce Elias to do things he wouldn't have otherwise done, like pressure to include me in the family. My son even mentioned them arguing about someone named Beth. Combined with Gwyneth's lisp, it's possible the name was actually Bess.
Yes.
Unfortunately, all we know about Bess Williams is that
We
she
won't be
wrote
able
this
to
book and
verify
died
it,
not long
but
after.
I think
The
that's true.
timeline fits with Wildcat, but there's no record if she had any other relationship. Honestly, I wouldn't say we had enough evidence either way. I wouldn't be surprised if Elias cheated. Of course, I'm a bit biased. Regardless, we haven't gotten in touch with any of the Williams clan yet. That means we haven't been able to do a DNA test. As Clark mentioned, from here on out, all of our DNA tests will be in person for both parties.
Okay. So that's an unknown. It's a shame.
Lastly, we have a bit of a curveball. Ron Roottree isn't related to us by blood. Gwyn was definitely pregnant, so it's likely Robbie is. When Ron and Robbie went to visit their mother at the end of her life, something changed. Additionally, there have been a few rumors circling around Ron. RR Productions canceled the Guys Like Us remake due to the director's illness. At the same time, Ron's wife Penelope began doing benefits for Huntington's disease, stating that she had
fucking hell, okay.
with it.
Right.
Huntington's is the
same
disease that Gwyn's former co-star Leslie Florence had. It's passed from parent to child. It can't skip a generation. Because Gwyn and Wild Bill didn't have Huntington's.
I know I didn't find all those clues, but it was getting to the end of that. Holy shit.
Ron the story. Leslie and Bill had an affair the same year Leslie learned she had Huntington's. Leslie got pregnant. Leslie wasn't likely to survive to see her child grow up. And even if she did, she didn't want to.
Jeez.
She begged Gwyn and Wild Bill to adopt her child. Gwyn did. Mere weeks after she found out she was having her own son, she also took in Ron. Wild Bill was a problem. Unreliable and a serial adulterer. Gwyn divorced him and never saw him again. Gwyn had already told Starlet she was pregnant, so it never really made waves when people saw her with a child in Paris. There was gossip during her divorce when she was discovered to be pregnant again. In actuality, it was the final months of her only pregnancy. To lay low, she stayed in Paris long enough that even her own family never had reason to question the timeline. It's one heck of a story.
Jeez, oh,
frankly,
yeah, fucking hell.
Expected to piece the timeline together.
Yeah, this is fucking wild.
Past have survived.
Huntington's is the proof. Yeah, that makes sense. So, no, yes. Interesting.
Ron suing Robbie to remove him from the Clancy Trust was a huge moment in my story, and a major catalyst for this entire investigation. Finding out that it's been pretty much backwards this whole time has been a bit surreal.
Fuck aye, jeez,
So
oh.
that's where we're at. Looking over the information you sent us was useful. Without your tree, I'm not sure we would have ever discovered Ruby. All this information, this entire story.
We need another game. We need another game.
More ways than one. Some of it has the potential to destroy marriages and ruin relationships. We're handling it all very, very carefully. But we couldn't have gotten here without you. And with that, I guess our tale has finally
That was
come to an
fucking
end.
excellent.
No
I've
words
loved
can
every
express
moment
how
of this,
grateful I am.
despite how frustrating trying to find some of the evidence has been.
Honestly, I've had enough of my family's eccentricities and scandals for one lifetime. I imagine you have as well.
No, we need more.
If not, well, there's always Elias's and Gwyneth's brothers and sisters.
Yes.
Attention, Roottrees. This is 5 people.
Holy shit.
You know,
That was so good. Like, that was fucking brilliant. Seriously, props to, like, all of them. That was great. Have had a great time with this. I hope you've enjoyed it as well. I think if there's more games like this, honestly, drop them in the comments. I will hunt every single one of them down and play them. Genuinely great fun. Ah, wow. Right, in that case, we are done. There'll probably be a couple of edits in this video on account of just some of the time. I know it's a super long one as well. But thank you very much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Catch you in a bit. Bye bye.